Hello everybody, hello Raven Knight back again with another interview video, but today we're not interviewing a For Honor content creator, we're actually interviewing a friend of mine. You guys should know her by now. She's been with the channel pretty much since its beginning. She does a lot of art for the channel. She draws all the chibi art that you've seen. She draws a lot of images of me as Claire, which I'm sure we'll get into at some point in this interview. And she just draws a lot of other pictures besides. She's a great inspiration and a really, really good friend. We've known each other for years. This is Hannah Hiring. Everyone say hi to Hannah. Hannah, say hi to everyone else.
Hi everybody, how's it going?
Well, thank you so much for being here, Hannah. So, as is usual with these content creator or just friend interviews, I'm going to ask her 10 questions that I've already pre-written here, and then at the very end of the interview, she will get the chance to ask me some questions. And then after that, we'll just wrap it up. So, Hannah, you ready for your first question?
Yes.
Okay. So, question number one. You are the artist, obviously, aside from Jay. So, what first got you into art and drawing?
I would have to say when I was a kid, I have an older sibling who had the same mom but different dad. So every now and then she would come to visit us. And when she would come to visit, she would always draw the Powerpuff Girls for me and my younger sister. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I remember thinking, wow, it looks just like the Powerpuff Girls are on TV. So I would always try to draw that as well, and that's where it started off at. And then I would see other things on TV like Digimon, Pokemon, but all in all, my older sibling, my sister, was a huge inspiration for me. So every time I saw her, I would always show her all my work. I would always show how far I would have improved. And it wasn't until I was a junior that she'd ask me the questions like, hey, where'd you start drawing? I mean, you're really good at this. When did you start? And I finally told her, I was like, well, you did. You always drew the Pop-Up Girls for us, so that's what got me started.
Wow. And how did she feel about that?
She cried because she didn't know. She was so touched by it.
I would imagine. So that leads actually into my second question. Perfect segue. What do you prefer drawing overall? Like, is it people, animals, women, men, fantasy, anime, chibi, cartoon? Like, what kind of things do you prefer drawing the most?
I think for me, what sparks it is I like to draw different designs of characters. Like, a lot of times I would see something how someone would design a character, and I always get that beef where it's like, I can do better. And I always try to do that. I mean, you've known me for the longest of times where it's like, a lot of times I do it just for the main point of just out of spite.
Yes,
this is true. But, but I've always enjoyed drawing, like designing characters just to see where I can go, especially if it has some kind of like symbolisms to them. I always like to see is like, how creative can I get with this? Like, for instance, you can give me like two images. It's like, okay, here's some two images, see if you can create a character from that. And I would do a lot of not studying but research to see what I can build from that. And it's always just so fun to see what I can create.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that I've always known, you've gotten a lot of excitement from just ideas. Like, it's not necessarily, like, you used to say that you prefer drawing women sometimes because women were just easier for you. But
yeah,
it's never stopped you from drawing other things. As long as the idea is creative to you, you'll still try it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then here's question number 3. This one will be interesting. Name one thing, if you can, that you think a lot of people misunderstand about art or artistry.
Let's see. Well, I've noticed that in the art field, a lot of people just take a lot of things that didn't really garner a whole lot of thought into it and would just call it would call it art. Like, for an example, I feel that NFT really wasn't exactly art. I mean, it was a good way to make money, but I really wouldn't consider it art. I would say for me, art would be based on what the artist wants to put out there, whether it be their ideology, their belief, but all in all, it's like the artist putting their actual soul into it. And I've seen a lot of amazing artwork, whether it be like having some kind of shape or different pieces put together, and it's absolutely amazing. Like, there's a lot of artists out there that I'm so jealous of, and I wish I could do. Like, one of them is graffiti. I wish I could do graffiti. I can't, and it just makes me so jealous whenever, like, when we see the trains come through town, you see all these graffiti arcs on the trains, and it's like, God, I wish I could do that. But then, of course, there's others where it's like, that's all right.
Okay, so art is a passion to you, and if there's no passion, it's not art.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Others may feel differently, but for me, that's how I always felt that art was. Just having the passion and putting your heart and soul into it.
Okay, yeah, well, that actually is perfect because it leads right into the next question. Yeah, you're actually doing this really well. Question number 4. Did you have any inspirations for your art? And it can be an artist or an art style. Like, what's something that you see and it inspires your art?
I know a lot of times it's color palettes. Like, when I'm on, sometimes I'll be on Pinterest, I'm just looking at different color palettes and how a photo looks with all these different colors. Like, wow, that's so cool. And it would just spark something from it. Another one could be music. Music is definitely a huge inspiration. Everyone uses music to get their motivation for something. Like, for example, there was a song called, I believe it was called Fearless by Ivan Torrent. And listening to the song, I mean, have you heard of it?
Yes, I have. I know Ivan Torrent. Very great artist.
Oh yeah. It's like he does. They do amazing. I don't know if it's a he or they. I'm not entirely sure, but they do amazing work. But the one I was listening to, it made me think of, like, what if this was a story based on, like, African mythology? And I had all these ideas, like, what if? But it's just stuff like that that helps give me inspiration, and it makes me sad and kind of a little upset on the fact that we have all these great things out there and we don't have movies or a lot of books that are released that are able to create something from it. Like, I've noticed, like, a lot of movies or shows nowadays just don't have that same spark of creativity or inspiration like they used to.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree. I could do a whole video talking about how I think that our culture's kind of deviated away from inspiration and more into what they think is cliquish or trendy. And I think that's a serious problem. In fact, I was actually reading, this is a little off topic, I was reading dialogue. I've been doing research on Devil May Cry because of that new anime adaptation on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I was comparing dialogue between two characters, and I was stunned by how awful the dialogue was in the remake versus the dialogue in the original game. Because they were both trying to say the same thing, but one sounded so much more obviously modern and trendy, throwing in cuss words and trying to sound edgy. And, you know, I was like, this is so obviously bland. Whereas the original felt more like they put a lot of energy, effort, and passion into what was being said. It felt like they put effort into it, whereas the remake, it felt like, let's do what's hip, let's do what's trendy. And I feel like that's saturating the art and media of our generation.
Because honestly, it's like, that doesn't exactly get you very far, especially in a couple of years or so. It's like everyone's just gonna forget about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
it'll be dated. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at High Guardian Spice. That was a huge thing. like the mockery of it was huge, like, a couple of years ago. But now it's like,
no
we
one
moved
cares.
on from it.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, so let's move on to the next question. What would you say is the most difficult part of doing a picture?
Having the idea in your head, making it look so good, and then you try to put it down on paper. It's like, no, it's not connecting.
Yeah, I can get that. The transition from thought to paper. Yeah, I get that.
It sucks.
I totally understand.
We haven't gotten that far in technology yet.
No, well, that leads into my next question. This is a difficult one. As an artist, what do you think of AI art?
I feel AI is great to use as a tool, as a way to bounce off ideas. I use AI if I'm kind of in the slump. It's like, hey, I need some ideas. And a lot of times AI gives me something like, wow, that's actually pretty cool. I didn't think about that. And that's something I feel everyone needs to realize, that AI can only go so far. It's not going to replace creativity, but people need to realize that it is a tool first and foremost. I've seen a lot of AI's images on DeviantArt, where they're adoptables. I don't know how, because really, like, AI isn't exactly. Last I checked, AI isn't exactly protected for copyright, so technically it's like, hey, if it's AI, it's free for all. However, that could have changed since then. But there's a lot of things that people have created using AI. It's like, wow, that's actually really cool. Because I remember a couple of months ago, you showed me an image where it took like a candy theme to it, and it was really cool. I even reached out to the creator, and I told him, I was like, this is actually really cool. I do like this design that you've got right here. And I feel like AI is a good stepping stone to get started. But I definitely wouldn't use it as the final product.
Right. I think that the problem is, and this is just my opinion, you may agree or disagree. AI is, I use it primarily for the purposes of getting a idea. Like you were talking a second ago about getting an idea in your head on paper. And I think AI can help do that for, like, say that you had an idea like, okay, I really want this picture, but I don't know where to start with it. Let me get some ideas, and AI can help generate some ideas, and you see the idea and you go, oh, okay, but then you redo it in your own style and in your own way so that it takes out the parts you don't like but puts in the things you do. That's the way I've always looked at it. I know some may not, but that's why I wanted to pick your brain on that, because as an artist yourself, you would obviously have your own opinion.
Yeah, because for an example, the Claire image of, like, it was Alien Claire. I actually used AI to help give me some ideas for a lot of the designs for it.
Oh yeah, I love Alien Claire. That's a really good image. That was a really good image.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I can't think of a bad Claire image, but I mean that one I remember distinctly was really good.
Yeah. Now since AI's been out, I haven't been accused of having, like, my art being AI twice. One, I can completely understand because the body portion was off, so I completely understand that, and I remember feeling just not feeling motivated enough, just wanted to get it done and over with, so I didn't really chew them out. I was like, you know what, considering how the anatomy looks, I don't blame you for thinking that. However, the other situation, and again, you were there, you even told me about it, that did irk me, because I actually liked how those turned out, and someone's sitting here thinking...
Yeah, I loved how they...
Oh, yeah. I know, like, I was pretty happy with them, and then someone's like, this is totally AI. Well, it isn't exactly what they said. They were stating how they were tired of you using AI, and it's like, well, I can understand that, but at the same time, you, like, me and Jay we both have lives, and we both have very busy schedules, and unfortunately we don't have the time to be able to do a image or a thumbnail for all of your videos, unfortunately. So sometimes it's like you gotta use AI, and it's like, it's not something you're selling anyway. So and you've asked both me and Jay about it, and we're like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I've always brought it to y'all's attention, and quite often I go to you two and I show thumbnails or images that I plan to use to get y'all's approval, and usually y'all are pretty cool with it. And there are times where you'll say, do another one. Like, you'll just say no. Like, but
it's like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, it's just I've never sold anything with AI. I've never done anything like that. But as an artist, I know you have your thoughts. So, well, we've got 4 more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. So, besides art, what are some of your other hobbies or things you enjoy to do?
I do enjoy reading. I'm still in the middle of the Kai Biscayne series.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. I have been rereading the Lunar Chronicles because I am a sucker when it comes to fairy tales. I need to see if there's any others out there. Now, granted, I know there's others out there who use fairy tale concepts, but a lot of times that they aren't really written well enough, or it just seems to me like it's just the usual girl that there's something very special about her, and it just goes the usual trope and whatnot.
Yeah, the classic Mary Sue trope.
Yeah, and to me, it's like it's just kind of boring.
No, I agree. That's why it's a Mary Sue.
It's like so freaking boring. So there's that. Unfortunately, it's like I couldn't even tell you was the last time I even read a manga. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually had a physical manga in my book to read. I mean, I read mangas on my phone, but like a physical manga in my hand, no. I couldn't tell you the last time. I still own like a small couple, One of them is called March Story. It's a Korean manga.
Okay.
I love it. It's really fun. That one, and then Yuminiko. Only own the story one. I don't own the rest of them.
I'm surprised amongst your hobbies you didn't mention your interest in like gotcha games. Like you got me to play Genshin.
That's true. Yes, I do play video games as well. I love video games when it's open world. Like I love them. That was the main reason why I really got into Genshin Impact, because it's an open world. Most gotcha games, I just play it for maybe like not even like a week or so, and then I'm just done with them because I'm bored of them. But the reason why I've been able to keep with Genshin Impact is because it's an open world, and with someone with ADHD, it's like I just want to explore. I want to see what I can do and whatnot. I mean, and that's gotten me into huge trouble with like games like Skyrim, where I'll decide to explore, and it bites me in the butt. For an example, a saber-toothed cat. I didn't know that you could come across one very early in the game, and I saw one, and I was like, oh, it's a saber-toothed cat, and it noticed me, and I crouched down, and then it stopped noticing me. And you think, okay, that would be the end of it. It could do its own thing. Well, my curiosity got the best of me, and I wanted to get closer. So I did. I went around it, and I'm on top of this short little cliff, and it looks up and it notices me. It's like, okay, it's fine. It's like, it can't get up here. Well, it started climbing up, and I was like, oh, shit. So then I tried to turn around and try to run away, but little did I know that I was also close to a mammoth and a giant. And you know how that story goes. Well, I've got a mammoth, a giant, and a saber-toothed cat on my butt, and my stamina is getting low. Needless to say, I did survive because I was close to a village, and I guess that just yeeted the aggression out of them because they stopped like going after me. So there's one. The other one was when I don't remember if it was the Skyrim symbol on the map, but I was curious to know what that was. And when I got closer, all of a sudden the Skyrim song started playing. I didn't know why, and here was a dragon. Well, I did the one thing I could think of. I jumped off the cliff with my horse. I survived. The horse, on the other hand, did not. So it's stuff like that. Like I said, like I love open world games. So Genshin Impact, definitely love it because of the open world background to it. Also love the character designs as well. They're really cool. I've also been playing Withering Waves. There's a lot of things about Withering Waves that I like a lot more than Genshin, and vice versa. Hands down, I really love the Drakengard and Nier series. Hands down. Love it. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. Like I've been pestering you to play the Nier series. So hopefully you'll do that. Hopefully you'll pick that up soon. I don't know about Drakengard. Drakengard's kind of Drakengard's kind of one where I don't think that, I mean, it's got a cult following, but I don't think it's going to be everyone's cup of tea. That Okami, I'm super excited they're making a sequel. It's like, yeah, super excited. I used to really enjoy Kingdom Hearts, but I think as I got older, after Kingdom Hearts 2, when they started just releasing the side games, I just started not caring for it, and I started to realize a lot of the flaws that the series itself had. And the last one I played before 3 was Dream Drop Distance. I didn't even finish that game, and I hated it so freaking much because I started to notice that it really started using the time paradox crap. And then 3 was released. I didn't even finish 3. I think the farthest I got was Big Hero 6, and I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. It just, like, you know my feelings about it. I'm not even gonna open up that can of worms.
Oh well, we got you. We got you talking with this topic, so that's good. Like, well, I'm glad. I'm glad we found your passion. I'm glad we found your passion there.
Yeah, like we're going to be doing the gameplay of the series anyway, so you'll probably be able to hear more of my feel on it.
I fully expect to. Well, 3 more questions. Okay, so this is one that's been brought up for a while since the Clayer images. Do you enjoy drawing Claire? And for those who don't know, Claire is the name we give to the female version of me that Hannah often draws. There's a whole story behind it we can go into it another time. But do you enjoy drawing Claire? And what about Claire do you enjoy or dislike?
So I do enjoy drawing Claire if it's going with a theme that I'm motivated enough to draw. Like for an example, let's say Alien Claire. I was super excited to do that. But let's go with another one. Like for an example, let's say police woman Claire. Then like the idea behind it's like, it's not as fun. It's just,
It's not as exciting.
It's not as exciting. It's just stuff like that. So my least favorite. I know there's been a couple of Claire images that I've done that I just didn't care for whatsoever. One of them would be the July 4th Claire. I don't like it.
I thought that one was good.
I don't like it. Another one was a swimsuit Claire. Don't like it.
Okay.
Let me think.
Well, which ones have you liked? How about that?
Which ones have I liked? I know there's been a couple that I do like, but off the top of my head, I would actually have to look through the list to see which ones I've liked. I do know that there have been a couple to where it's like I really did enjoy it, did like it. Like for an example, the pastel gothic Claire, I did like how that one turned out.
That one worked.
And that
I'm still asking. People are still asking to bring that back.
Yeah. I've been pretty surprised when you mentioned that to me, and I was like, well, wait a minute, what about the other Claires? I was like, they even asked, like, make a story for her. I was like, what about the other ones?
Well,
what makes this one any different?
You never know. We'll have to see what works out.
Yeah, but I mean, that one's pretty good. I did like it.
All right. Well, glad to know you still enjoy drawing Claire. Two more questions. If you could see the channel, my Raven Knight channel, going any direction, where would you like it to see it go?
Honestly, if I could see it go in any directions, I would hope and wish that you would be able to branch out into other series, not just For Honor. For Honor is a great game, and that's great to see that it has a great community. But my one issue is the fact of I'm always just afraid of you getting burned out of the game, and especially on the fact like if that was the only thing you could do to get more income in. I would like to see you be able to do other series and still be able to not only enjoy it but actually get like income from it as well. That's what I hope to see as your channel grows.
All right, understood. Thank you. And last question, what advice would you give to those who want to get into art or drawing? Just a simple word of advice.
What I would say is that there is no right or wrong way to draw. But if that's something that you do want to get into, I would say, especially if you're wanting to draw people, or if you're wanting to draw, like, get into anime, one thing is I've actually heard actual artists say, like, even manga artists, they'd always say, learn anatomy. Like, just learn, get a book, draw anatomy, and, they say practice makes perfect. Well, what they're saying is that practice drawing something repeatedly so you can get in that memory muscle in to help you be able to remember how to draw something. Like, for me, there are times where I don't draw for a long time, and then I have to basically relearn how to draw because I haven't drawn in the longest of time. Another thing I would say is don't worry about not being good the first try. That's okay. If what you're drawing at first, like, it's not good enough, that's okay. There are times where I draw something for the first time and it doesn't look good and I get frustrated. That's okay. Just keep at it. It's okay if it doesn't look good. That's okay. Don't get frustrated. Don't get angry at yourself. What matters is that you're willing to take the time, determination, and discipline to keep going, to keep trying. That's all that matters. And maybe through it all, you start to learn your own style. Like for me, I have a lot of artists that I look up to that I do really love their styles. Um, and they help push me to be able to do something like that. Another thing is to keep in mind is that don't try to compare your work to an artist that you like, because that's just going to make you really depressed. Trust me, just don't do that.
Excellent.
But that would be my advice to people who are wanting to get into art. And also another thing is that um, don't worry about what other people are saying. Do what you want to draw out, what you want to draw, what gives you the most passion, because that's all that matters. That's all what matters being an artist, whether it be drawing, whether it be writing, whether it be something else. Like, do what is going to give you the passion.
Passion to draw.
Yeah.
All right. Well, excellent. That is all the questions I have, and that was all excellently done. So now, I give the floor to you. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, you're free to ask them now.
Alrighty. So really, I only got like 3 questions.
Okay.
Alright. My first question is, what story did you create that you feel made the most impact on your writing?
The story that I wrote that made the most impact upon writing. That's a good question because I feel like every story I've written has changed something about how I write. But I think the one that really changed the way I approach writing would be probably either Submerged or Death Diary. Death Diary changed the way I approach character writing. It changed the way I approach personality and encouraged me to speak from the point of view of a character rather than just what I want to see from the character. And Submerged really adjusted how I approach narrative. Submerged made me want to hide information rather than give it all away. It made me control exposition. It forced me to walk away from themes so much as, again, looking at character and drives and motivations. I think Submerged really opened my eyes to how to better write prose, whereas Death Diary opened my eyes to how to write character. So I think those would be the two that really opened my eyes to that. And I think the only other one I'd mention is Monster Club, because with Monster Club, I had to balance a lot of different personalities, and learning how to make distinct multiple personalities was tricky, but now I feel a lot more comfortable doing it. So I think those 3 stories in conjunction would be the answer.
Gotcha. And I don't know if it's something that you still want to do, but remember I was in talks with you about the fact of you're thinking of wanting to do a remake on Submerge.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, like, I haven't had the chance to read your original, so one of these things, like, I probably should, just so, like, because I would love to bounce off ideas with you,
Yeah.
if I do take the time to read it. That and Monster Co, because I know that Monster Co is definitely something that a lot of people seem to have really enjoyed.
Yes, it's very popular. A lot of people have enjoyed it. It made it into a game. So a lot of people seem to have liked it. It's a shame you didn't get it as into it as others, but you know what? Everyone enjoys what they enjoy, so.
Yeah. My next question is regarding AI. Have you used it as ways to bounce off ideas or brainstorms?
Yes. For me, what I used AI initially for was to create character design ideas for stories or for aspects that I didn't think you or Jay would be interested in. Because it's awkward for me to go to you or Jay and just say, hey, I've got the story idea. Would you like to draw the character for it? Because like you said earlier, you've got things you got to do. You've got your own lives to live. And Jay, especially since he's a professional artist, it's what he does for a living. I just don't feel like he has the time to look at every little thing I bring under his nose and he draws it. I know that he wouldn't mind it, but I would feel bad doing it. So AI is a great way for me to say, you know what, I have an idea for a character. Let's use AI to at least give me an idea of what he or she looks like. And then in doing so, I can, better write out like the description for what they would look like in the story. So I've done that. I've also used AI to help give you an idea. Like if you were saying, hey, you said you wanted me to draw this, like if you were drawing the Raven Lord, you would say, okay, what does a Raven Lord look like? And I'd be like, hold on, let me put something in AI and see if I can't make something. And then I can send you the image and go, okay. And then you can kind of bounce ideas or, say, I like this aspect, I don't like this aspect. So AI was a great tool for that. And that's how I initially, and still for the most part, only use it.
Yeah, because I remember like that was something you were showing me different designs that you were able to create using AI for the Raven Lord, and I was able to take those and just create like the chibi Raven Lord as well.
Yes, yes, and I like what you came up with. It's honestly really good, and it's better than anything that the AI tried to create. I'll be honest.
Darn skibby because it's human made.
Yes, yes.
Doesn't have extra fingers.
No, it didn't have extra fingers. I find that funny. Like I find that really funny. But anyway, um, but yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then in the next and last question, are you ready for this?
Okay.
All right. Do I give you headaches, and why?
Okay, so, you definitely do, but here's why. So, one thing that you definitely do, and guys, Hannah and I have known each other for well over a decade. Well over a decade. We've known each other since I was in college, for Pete's sake. So we've had a long-standing relationship, and one thing I've learned about Hannah over the course of our friendship is you definitely have ADHD, and you definitely are hyper, and you definitely have a very big personality. And what I mean by that is you have a lot to say, and you have a very sharp, strong, and sometimes abrasive personality. You oftentimes like to make things more difficult than you need to because you are being funny, you're being silly, you're being coy. And I get that. But since I deal with kids on a regular basis as a substitute teacher and as a teacher, and since I deal with a lot of stressors from my day-to-day work, there are times where the abrasiveness is just like, I can't deal with it right now. And so I get headaches from our conversations. I don't mean that in a bad way, honestly. There are just days where I'm like, you know what, Hannah, I know you want to be goofy and silly. I can't deal with it right now. So that's kind of how I approach that. But you've always been good about, when you recognize, yeah, you know what, today's not a good day to, twist that dial or press those buttons. You've always been good about that. Because I get on your nerves too, just as you get on mine sometimes. But that is just how friendships go. We get on each other's nerves. But yes, you give me headaches sometimes, especially when you are trying to give me headaches. I mean, let's be honest, you've tried at times. I remember you actually, I remember you saying once, you said something really brain dead, and I can't remember what it was at the time, but I just went really quiet because I was processing it, and you said, "Do you have a headache now?" And I just went, "Yes." Like, I do have a headache now.
Was it a pun? I hope it was a pun.
I don't remember what it was now, like, it's been a while, but I'll need to think back. But anyway, yes, I think we both give each other headaches. And poor Jay, he just gets migraines naturally.
Oh God, that's right, poor Jay.
Well, we'll be interviewing Jay too, but not today. Anyway, are those all your questions?
Yes, those were my 3 questions.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Hannah, for joining us and for being a part of this interview series. I will leave a link to her Instagram in the description below so that you guys can go check out her work and see what kind of stuff she does. But if you don't want to go there, you can still stick around the channel because I guarantee you'll still see more of her art pop up in videos and thumbnails along the way. She does amazing work, and I'm so grateful that she got to come. Hannah, do you have anything you want to say before we go?
I hope all of you have a great Monday. I mean, today's Monday. I don't know when this video is going to be posted, but I hope y'all have like a really good day and stuff.
Yeah, excellent. And don't worry, guys, we will get an interview with Jay as well when he gets the free time to do it. But definitely wanted to do this with Hannah because she was my artist friend before I even met Jay, and she has done way more art for this channel than Jay has. So wanted to get her chance to speak. And also stay tuned, guys, because we are going to be continuing our Kingdom Hearts series where we play through the games, and Hannah begged me to do this because she wants to be involved, she wants to give her commentary. Look forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.